Hey, this is Eric.
And this is Sammy.
We're the Golden Pelicans.
And you're listening to 88.5
WMNF Tampa. Turn it up.
The opinions presented on the Healthy Steps show are the evidence-based opinions of Dr. Fred Harvey, the callers, and his guests. These are not the opinions of the staff, the volunteers, or the board of WMNF. The information provided on the show is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. There is no implied patient-physician relationship in these calls. The nature of the calls is educational and informational only.
Good morning and happy days to you, my bold friend and faithful companion out there in the vast expanses of the radio wilderness, and welcome to the Healthy Steps radio show here on WMNF Tampa, the only community radio station that Captain Benjamin L. Willard would ever stream while going upriver, and you can stream us as well at WMNF.org. My constant invitation to you, my friend, is to call in to the Healthy Steps radio show. Today is Ask Me Anything Monday, and it depends on your questions, comments, and concerns. So let's keep my favorite phone commander, Irene, busy this morning. Just give us a call at 813-239-9663. Again, that number to call is 813-239-9663. You can also send an email to dj@wmnf.org or text us at 813-433-0885. Good morning to you, Dr. Harvey, and I hope that you had a spectacular weekend and that life rewarded you with more of her bounty and that you are now ready to guide us through another AMA Monday. I've already frittered away too much precious time in the wind-up, so let's launch this show. What have you got for us today, Dr. Fred?
Good morning, Bill. I got to ask you, usually I have some clue about the names you're throwing out here, but who the heck is Captain Benjamin Willard?
He was the character that Martin Sheen played in Apocalypse Now.
Oh, okay, good. So happy Monday, and welcome back, happy listeners. I really want to thank y'all for supporting the show. We made goal and over it, and so we can share a little bit with the rest of the station. Thank you. Thank you for supporting my mission here, because I love doing this. And it's so amazing how much information we get. I think that they say the amount of health information doubles every 17 days or something like that. Think about that. It's super exponential. It's almost a vertical curve. It's just shooting straight up, the amount of stuff we have that we can go through. We need AI to sort through it all. And that's why one of the reasons I love the AI. Obviously, it makes mistakes, but we have human brains that we can check to see if it's made mistakes, unless it's obviously a 14-day-long calculation that would take a human 14 centuries. So, yeah, there's certain things we're not going to be able to check real easily, but other things we can. Like looking at lots of health data and figuring out patterns. And we don't even need AI because our brains do a lot of that. And we're seeing recurrent patterns in certain issues. And one of them, I talk about it a lot, is toxicity, and the other is inflammation. And from my perspective, toxicity and inflammation basically work together as a feed-forward loop, because toxicity inflames you and inflammation makes you toxic. And so it's just a feed-forward loop that kills people. That's how we get our degenerative diseases. So all of the scary brain diseases, all the scary brain diseases that I can think of right now are based in toxicity and inflammation. And so the biggest one that we're looking at, a pandemic globally, is Alzheimer's disease. Dementia is a serious complication because people are living longer and longer. The average lifespan was like 46 when our nation was founded, and now it's 86. So we've doubled the time, so we have more time to collect toxins and get more inflammation. But we've been following this stuff for years and years and years. Decades of search has been going on. And so 30 years ago, in January of 1997, an article was published in The Lancet, one of the most peer-reviewed, respected publications on the planet for medical science. Apolipoprotein E4 is an enzyme or a carrier molecule. This designation, ApoE4, that relates specifically to a protein that does detoxification in the brain and elsewhere. But it also is associated with cholesterol transportation. And cholesterol transportation is a sign of toxicity and inflammation. And so we have this protein that we know is associated with dementia. And we know there's three forms of the protein, and one of the forms of the protein is really protective. One is moderate, and the third one, ApoE4, has no protection. So if you end up getting two ApoE4 genes, you have no good brain toxicity protection from this one gene, and it's a really important one, because what it's shown is that if you have the ApoE4 allele, which is the word we use to describe that gene, you have a significantly increased risk of Alzheimer's. But there's another thing that goes along here, and this is the inflammation part. They have connected 30 years ago that herpes simplex virus, the common cold sore that many people get when they're children, is associated with a significantly increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. And because we know that, we correlated this in science with the ApoE4. Somebody thought ahead. And so this 30-year-old article talks about how the people who have ApoE4 were significantly more likely to have HSV1 in the brain. And so what it's saying is that the HSV1, herpes simplex virus 1 positive non-Alzheimer's disease group versus the herpes simplex virus, cold sore virus negative non-Alzheimer's disease group, they found that there was a ratio, an odds ratio, a risk that if you have ApoE4, you have a 16 times, approximately 16 times more likelihood of having Alzheimer's disease if you had this ApoE4 and you got herpes simplex virus. So here's a combination of the genetic predisposition and a virus coming together to cause a problem. And that's why not everybody gets Alzheimer's, because not everybody has ApoE4. Lots of people have ApoE2. Lots of people have ApoE3. And some people have ApoE4, but only one copy of it, because you get one from each mom and dad. So if you have an ApoE2 and an ApoE4, you're actually at lower risk than somebody who has two fours. And so we see that this is the way our body works in almost all disease. There is going to be some sort of predisposition, genetically usually, that leaves you susceptible to certain pathways of destructive metabolism. And in this case, the destructive metabolism is degenerative brain disease, resulting in cognitive dysfunction or memory loss and inability to think, and that's dementia. So one thing we can really pay attention to here is the fact that not everybody has been exposed to herpes simplex virus. There's some evidence that maybe 50% of the population has. But if you know you've had a cold sore, you might want to get checked and see if you have antibodies. But you also might want to consider, if you get recurrent cold sores, there's a lifestyle problem here, because that tells us your immune system is constantly being irritated and triggering a virus that's dormant in the body. If that's happening, you want to actually look at the lifestyle, change that, but you also want to consider taking medication, because there are antiviral medications like acyclovir that prevent the growth of the herpes simplex virus. And so if you have recurrences, you might want to be on a suppressive antiviral medication, but I'd prefer finding the reason you're triggering it and calm that down. You know, calm down your immune system naturally so you're not triggering the herpes simplex virus to continue showing up. There are other things we can do. There was some really elegant work done, I think it was about 15 years ago, where they showed that the protein that is considered the pathologic protein in Alzheimer's disease, the protein called beta amyloid, actually is an antiviral kind of thing, because they showed that in the brains of people that had died with Alzheimer's disease that also had a history of herpes simplex virus, when they stained the brain with special staining, they found herpes simplex virus in the area of the brain associated with Alzheimer's disease, called the hippocampus. But in addition, they also found on top of the viral infection area, there was beta amyloid. And that was pretty much the only place that high concentrations of beta amyloid were found. So it seems the brain was laying down beta amyloid to bind up this virus so it couldn't move around and hurt things. And what's really interesting is that they've found in almost all of the medications that they've tried to develop to take away beta amyloid, because I believe that neurology is believing erroneously that beta amyloid is the pathologic problem, when actually it's the inflammation, the infection, the toxicity that's the problem, and the amyloid is trying to stop that. So whenever we've taken a medication that takes the amyloid away, the people have worsened. The condition of Alzheimer's disease has gotten worse. So we know that these viral infections are really critical. We know that if you get a systemic inflammatory event like a shingles or a herpes virus infection, after age 65, you have a 50% increase in your risk of getting dementia. So we need to pay attention to these things that are ongoing, feeding forward. You might want to go and ask your doctor to get you your ApoE checked. It's a genetic test. Insurance doesn't pay for it, but you can pay for it and find out if you have a risk. If you do, then you might want to be very aggressive about controlling your inflammation and controlling your toxicity. Because this gives us a handle on how to prevent and essentially treat the causes of Alzheimer's disease without actually taking a pharmaceutical medication that risks a stroke and actually doesn't change the course of illness. And I think that kind of information deserves conversation. So that's what I'm here for. This is the Healthy Steps Show.
And indeed, and that's what Lisa is here for. She's in St. Pete and wants to ask some questions about insomnia, but I don't want to leave her hanging there alone. And I want to remind people, if you're just tuning on in, you are listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, and you are invited to participate by calling 813-239-9663. And put Joe to work for answering the phones today, and I appreciate him doing that. And you can continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. But the number to call to participate is 813-239-9663. Let's go to Lisa. Good morning, Lisa.
Hello?
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. So, I've for about 5 to 6 days, I've been experiencing insomnia with muscle tremor twitches, kind of all over my body and in my chest area, especially. It's hard to locate them. I can't seem to feel them with my fingers, or my hands. But I had been having a bit of chronic stress just with the state of things going on in the world, and just feeling a lot of fear and stress and hopelessness. And I'm also perimenopausal, and I'm getting some things. I'm about to be getting some things checked out with a functional medicine doctor for checking into hypothyroid and of course the hormone issues with perimenopause. But anyway, I started to feel the twitches a bit, and definitely was feeling stressed. So then I quit caffeine and coffee, cold turkey, and sugar and salt, and a bunch of things kind of cold turkey about a week ago. And then by day 3, this insomnia started, and the twitching got a lot worse. And I was throwing a bit of magnesium on things, possibly out of balance. Maybe, I was taking more mag glycinate without the calcium and other things, maybe. So maybe quite a bit. And things were just getting worse. And I did start the initial appointment with my functional medicine doctor. And then had 2 more nights of that, so I went to the ER because I was feeling a lot of fear and got everything checked out, and all the major stuff was totally fine, except like a little high blood pressure. And
So
then,
it sounds to me like you had decided to stop caffeine, sugar, and other things cold turkey, and then your insomnia and tremors and twitching started. Is that right?
I was having some muscle tremors beginning and like what felt like arrhythmia or whatever the other word is for that. Like I wasn't sure what I was feeling, but I think it is mostly these twitches. And that's what made me really like, all right, I'm going to quit coffee and just kind of quit everything. But I went cold turkey. I've not been a really long coffee drinker, so I didn't really realize that could be so intense either. And so the insomnia is coupled with, like, when I am trying to sleep, my breath slows down tremendously. And then, like, I get jolted because that's almost like I stop breathing. That had never happened, like, to that degree, like, at all, and nor has the insomnia before. That was days.
So have you ever had muscle twitching like this before?
I would say that was starting to happen. That's what made me quit coffee. I thought it was the caffeine.
Okay, yeah, and it could have been. Caffeine does that, and magnesium often helps. Most people tolerate several hundred, up to 400 milligrams of magnesium a day, no problem, with no need to balance it with anything else. So it sounds like you have something else going on here, something deeper.
Well, I kind of threw like a hyper dose of magnesium at things as it started with the insomnia. Like I took it like 3 times. I took three, maybe 2 days of taking it 3 times during the day, 400 milligrams. So
taking what?
Of magnesium.
And how many milligrams?
400.
Okay. And so, yeah, I haven't had anybody get muscle twitches from taking magnesium. Usually it stops that stuff. Perimenopausally, lower progesterone can increase anxiety and decrease sleep. But it sounds like this is sudden. Did you have some kind of exposure a week ago to something that triggered all this?
No, I mean, I had to think it was, I guess I read in some areas that people had like insomnia and sort of the central sleep apnea start when they quit coffee cold turkey. So I was like, maybe it's that, because that was the only thing that really changed that was major.
Yeah, doesn't sound like that would be something you would develop unless you were drinking a pot of coffee a day. No. But it sounds like there's something deeper going on there. So a hormone evaluation, a neurotransmitter evaluation, a metabolic look at your minerals and things. These would all be appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on the road for all that.
Good.
But after going to the ER and then being like, okay, all the other major stuff and it was fine. And I felt a lot of relief, at least from the stress or fear of what was happening. And I felt pretty positive about where I was going, and I thought I was going to sleep fine last night. But yeah, it's
so
bad.
do you have a meditation or breath work practice to work on this stress?
I haven't been great at it, but I'm aware of it too.
That's the first step. Daily meditation, mindfulness, breath work in that realm, daily, twice daily, 5 times daily if the anxiety keeps coming back. Meditation. It's just soothing for the soul and from the soul.
Yeah. Okay.
Good luck with that, Lisa. I think I have another caller on.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Indeed, we do have another caller. I got Allison, and I'm usually an easily placated kind of guy, but when my boards aren't lit on up, I need to do a holler on out to y'all. Give us a call and participate in the Healthy Steps radio show here on WMNF Tampa by dialing 813-239-9663 or send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. Let's go to Allison in Dade City. Good morning, Allison.
Hello.
Good morning, Allison. What do you have for us today?
Oh, hi. Good morning to you as well. I just wanted your opinion on memory brain supplements. I don't know if I'm phrasing that correctly.
Yes, you are actually. um, I remember a story from Greek mythology. It was a story about a woman named Pandora. Do you remember that one?
I do.
Yeah, and I think maybe the rest of our listeners could use a refresher. So Pandora was someone who apparently had this box that in the box was something called the panacea. And the panacea is the cure for everything. And people were really, really interested in getting this cure for everything. And finally, somebody opened the box and out popped the cure for everything. But along with it came the plagues of the world. You don't get nothing for free. And there are no magic bullets. There are no panaceas. And so, yeah, we really don't have a memory supplement per se. What we have is an approach to cognitive problems that require a really strong, broad-based approach to fix the problem. And that is, dealing with every aspect of your life, from water, food, and sleep to where you work, how you work, your joy at work, your family, your friends, your tribe, your purpose. And when you work on all those areas and put things into balance, you tend to get better memory. However, as I was already talking about problems that we have genetically and environmentally, we have roadblocks that sometimes result in memory difficulties. Even being a vegan and avoiding fish oil and flax oil can result in brain rot, because if you don't have enough omega-3 fats in your brain, you can't think. And so memory goes away if you don't have enough omega-3 fats. So I think it's really worth it for everyone who is involved in aging. So that means everyone. We should take a look at the things we're doing to promote better brain health rather than trying to avoid brain breakdown. Let's be proactive and promote positivity rather than finding ways to hide from the negatives. So foundational stuff, very easy stuff, like getting 8 hours of sleep, are really simple things to work on the memory.
Okay, I agree, because I really don't want to take a supplement, but I'd much rather go the natural herbal route with anything.
Yes.
Being a nurse, I'm very anti taking pills.
Yeah, well, and we don't have any pills that work for the diagnosed memory problems. They've tried like 300 times now, and none of them actually treat dementia. Mm-hmm. And so we're not going to find it in a pill because it's too complex. It's multifactorial. Dementia is not a what's that?
Sorry, I'm yelling at my brother.
So dementia is not a single line item. Your brain is so complex, and consciousness is a huge part of it. So meditation is a way of working with dementia, way of working with memory issues.
Uh-huh. Yes, that is something I need to work on. I won't lie to you. That's the easiest thing to do and the hardest thing to do.
And what's your exercise regimen like?
It could be better.
So we know that daily 30 minutes of walking actually prevents dementia and improves memory and dispels depression and reverses type 2 diabetes and reduces the risk of recurrent breast cancer by 30% and reduces the risk of recurrent prostate cancer by 30%. And.
Okay. And as far as the herpes simplex virus, do you think that getting the shingles vaccination would protect against that?
Well, it protects against herpes simplex virus type 2, shingles. It doesn't protect against herpes simplex virus type 1, and there's no vaccine for that one, but you can actually take some vitamin D, around 2,000 to 5,000 units a day, 50 to 125 micrograms a day. That is a dose that seems to actually prevent the recurrence, to some extent, of the herpes virus.
Talking to somebody. Yes. Okay. I can do that.
And so
Think of
simple supplementation can help.
Okay.
Get out in the sun. Do your 30-minute walk in the morning with no sunblock on. Do it before 10 o'clock. Use shorts. Get sun on the back of your knees so you get better melatonin production to protect your brain health.
Oh. Okay. I can
Yes,
do that.
sun on the back of your knees improves your sleep cycle.
On that, I don't have a problem at all. A Cat 5 hurricane might wake me up.
Excellent. Sleep is very important.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Doctor.
You're very welcome, and have a great week, and good luck increasing that exercise and meditation program.
Yeah, it's just getting the thumb out of the backside, that's all.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
And thank you there, Jennifer or Allison. I do have Jennifer on the line, but we're just dragging you all on in one at a time, I guess, to the Healthy Steps Radio Show. We've got Dr. Harvey here to answer your medical questions, but give us a call at 813-239-9663. Let's go to Jennifer. Good morning there, Jennifer.
Hello. Yes,
Hi
hi,
there.
doctor. I'm a peace activist. I'm in the Green Party, but I think a lot of listeners this would apply to, because just so many people that I know right now are going through so much trauma and stress, soul sickness, and I know you can't address the political problems in this country, but the things like Gaza and the immigrants. Is there something? I mean, that people can't afford a psychiatrist? I know meditation's good. I walk a half an hour every morning. I go to the gym a couple times a week. So, I mean, it's like there's things that I've been doing, but I still feel it, and I know that people are feeling it. Is there things that we could do medicinally? I mean, or not medicinally, but, with vitamins and other things that you could prescribe for wellness for, not just me, but for anyone that's listening that may be going through this?
Yeah, that's a really important thing that's going on right now, and so yeah, there's
And
nothing.
I'll be quiet and listen.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. There's not much we can do with the political situation, except when really nasty things happen. I see people getting in the streets and trying to prevent nasty things from happening, but that's also stressful. So walking is a very good way to de-stress. If you do not wear earbuds and you pay attention to what's going on around you, you can actually hear the bird calls and listen to squirrels chasing each other and whatever else you might want to be listening to. But you don't need to be listening to someone droning on about some stupid topic on some political issue and trying to get you activated so you can become an activist. And you don't need to be listening to any kind of music, because the music of the planet is enough to put you in a better space. And so a 30-minute walk, if you're mindful and paying attention to what's going on around you and not thinking about distracting things like how you're going to pay that bill, you can actually find some peace. And you can do that with meditation too, but it's harder when you're doing just meditation on your own. I've found that guided meditation is very helpful when you're in a stressful situation, because when I'm in a stressful situation, because my mind races to think about the mundane, whatever is problematic at the time. And what you want to do is get away from that. And so having someone guide you to a place of peace is a very effective way. Dr. Joe Dispenza does that. There's apps like Calm and Insight Timer. There's lots of people that are helping with guided meditation. It's a great way to keep your mind from wandering back to the stressful mundane. And then if you really want to take things that help to soothe the system, magnesium is a great supplement that many people find benefit from. Magnesium glycinate, Glycinate, is very calming. Glycine helps to calm the mind. It helps to improve sleep. It also helps with detoxification. And so taking some magnesium glycinate is very calming. Chamomile tea in the evening is calming, or during the day. It's not sedating, so you could drink chamomile tea all day long if you want. Having an infuser of aromatherapy, having lavender infused into your house if you don't have allergies or problems with terpenes, you could smell lavender scent, or burn a lavender candle, or burn some lavender incense and have that fragrance in the house. It's very, very calming. You could put a touch of diluted lavender oil on your temples, put some on a little cotton pledget and safety pin it to your shirt so you smell the lavender. There's so many things you can do to help calm the system down. And I think that's really our goal right now, is to not be stressed, to step away from the mundane, because nothing is going to change the fact that we have a fascist government. Nothing's going to change that right now. We just have to actually live with that. We might have to live with it for decades. We don't know what's next. And so if we can just be peaceful within ourselves and not react to what's going on outside of us, then that is a place that we're all being challenged to go to, because when the environment is forcing stress upon us, to go to a place of peace and be a place of peace, be a healing temple, be a refuge for other people by being peaceful. Sit in the feelings, let them go through you. Don't run with the feelings, because then it gets worse. And so simply doing those things can really help to unwind some of that tension that's in the body. If you're sitting quietly and listening to your body and feeling that, you can actually start breathing into the tension. Ryan, I hope you're listening. The breath work is so important, because slow, controlled breath is something that helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That is the calming nervous system. It's the opposite of adrenaline. It chills out your body and your mind. And so doing those kinds of things can be really useful to help you get away from this stress that we're experiencing today. Hope that helps, Jennifer.
Okay, well, I do have Camellia on the line, and somebody else just ringing on in right now. So let's go to Camellia. Good morning to you.
How are you?
Hi there.
Thank you so much for taking my call. And, well, my situation is kind of more complicated. I think my grandfather has Alzheimer. My mother, she's still alive. She has Alzheimer. My brother just passed away from ALS. And the question is, any suggestion how I can keep myself aware what I supposed to do, what type of test you will suggest it to calm myself down. Pretty much I am doing everything what you were just talking about, means meditation, 10 to 12, sometimes 15,000 steps a day, and different time a day with sunblocks, without sunblocks. I am trying to do physical therapy, yoga on the chair, meditation, and taking vitamin D supplements with K2. Pretty much I am not smoker. I am living my life definitely a very stressful way, because I am also caregiver for my husband who have different problems. So anyway, what is your suggestion? What I can do to keep myself in line?
I think that it would be a good idea, with your family history of neurodegenerative illness, to get a test that I do in my functional medicine practice, and many functional doctors use a metabolomic test. I use one from Genova Labs called the NutraEval, and that'll look at your metabolic needs, and it also look at some toxicities like toxic metals and petrochemical toxins. You can add on to that test an ApoE test. I think you deserve to get an ApoE gene test to see if you have the Alzheimer's predisposition. Because Alzheimer's has, what's that?
Yeah, I already did that. I'm sorry. I already did the testing, and unfortunately, I have some predisposition, so I know that.
Do you have ApoE4?
No, I don't know exactly. I don't have on the front of me, but the conclusion from a person who wrote down that kind of analysis, make that kind of suggestion that I have predisposition to it.
Okay, so you probably do have the ApoE4, and that means you need to be very aggressive. It sounds like you're really doing a lot of good things, and so you may want to actually look at the metabolomic testing, look for toxicity, because dementia has numerous causes. The ApoE4 is one predisposer, but diabetes contributes, mercury and other toxic metals contribute, petrochemical toxins and other xenobiotics do it, hormone changes do it, and so vascular problems do it as well. So you deserve a workup to find out where you are on that spectrum.
So what is your suggestion? Which one doctor I supposed to talk to? Because my primary doctor thinks that I'm just fine.
Yes, a functional medicine doctor does this kind of evaluation.
Which one? I'm sorry?
Functional medicine, like me. You can get more information about functional medicine at ifm.org or at functionalmedicineflorida.com.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, we're down to about the last 20 minutes of the show, so I'm going to invite more folks to come wandering on in and give us a call here at the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey on WMNF Tampa. Give us a jingle at 813-239-9663, and you can continue sending your emails to dj@wmnf.org. But be like Joel. Dial us at 813-239-9663 and participate in today's show. Let's go to Joel in Tampa. Good morning to you, Joel.
Hello, Dr. Harvey. You are a partner with all wellness seekers everywhere. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Joel.
I've been listening, and I drink Yogi tea.
Yes.
YOGA, and they have a cute little saying on each tab, a tea bag tab, and one is, "A quiet mind is a strong mind."
That's true.
And also as a teacher, a former radio show host, and a wellness trainer, I'd like to just say that all the body parts are connected, and it basically is the food. So feed your body well, and everything falls into line. This is 2025. We don't have to wait for a magic discovery from Brazil to get well, do we, doctor?
That is so true. I think we should leave the acai berry alone because we don't need to devastate the Amazon for that one. But I have to add something to that. I believe that food is foundational, but really it's all bound together by love. It's the energy that actually runs the whole thing.
Yes. And add gratitude, Doc.
Well, gratitude flows from the love, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're my partner.
Absolutely, brother. Joel, thank you so much for your call.
Thank you, Doc. Keep on keeping on. I wish you ever more energy.
Thank you so much. I'm looking for that. I try to wake up every day with the idea this is going to be better than yesterday.
Yes.
All right. Thank you there, Joel. You are always a positive voice on our show. And I've got Peter in Sarasota and Kevin in Bradenton. So let's go to Peter. Good morning to you.
Hi, Peter.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I really appreciate all the medical advice the doctor gives, but I think he should refrain from commenting on political activism the way he did earlier. I'm really glad that Gandhi, MLK, the Vietnam protesters, the environmental protesters before the first Earth Day, the women's rights protesters, et cetera, did not think we are powerless to change the world the way the doctor stated. I think that's a very sad way to look at our current state of affairs or activism in general.
Peter,
And
I agree with what you're saying there, but
find-
that's not the intent of what I was saying. I totally hear you.
We can find peace. We can find peace and still, work to change the world in a better direction.
Yes, but you have to remember that the woman that actually called in was concerned about being taken away by the stress of being activated by all the messaging. And I was giving her a way to get out because some people don't want to be activated. Some people need to find the peace so they can have a strong mind. Because when you don't have a peaceful mind, it's not strong. And then you do ridiculously dangerous things sometimes. And so I totally agree with you. I am not hopeless. I'm an optimist with experience, and I'm telling the planet that we can make a change, but we have to do it from a place of peace within, because peaceful warriors are the only ones that actually succeed.
Well, that's fine, but you came right out and said that we're help us to change the fascist.
I did not say that. You're putting words in my mouth, and I think this conversation is now over.
No.
Goodbye.
Okie dokie there. I do have, as I had said, Kevin in Bradenton on the line. Let's go to Kevin. Good morning, Kevin.
Doctor. Good morning, my facilitator. First of all, I have an unmedical question. What was the name of Robert Duvall's character, the Colonel?
That was for Bill.
Okay, that would be Captain Benjamin L. Willard.
Willard. Okay, he's a colonel, not a captain.
He's a colonel. Well,
okay. That was
no. It was Colonel Kurtz. It was Colonel Kurtz. It was Captain Willard.
Oh, he was captain. That's right.
Yeah.
Colonel Kurtz. Okay.
And he's a big supporter of WMNF as well, and we encourage you to support us.
They both are. That surreptitiously, Marlon Brando donated a ton of money to WMNF. So anyway, that's a side issue.
That's excellent.
And Doctor, I just want to say that the previous caller was totally off base. This is a medical program, not a political one. Anyway.
Well, I did make a little bit of a sort of political comment, but it was in context with trying to help somebody get out of the stress.
That we might be in a fascist situation for decades to come. That was.
Well, we are. That's no question.
Okay. Well, you made it as a statement, not a question. But anyway, the medical question that I have is, it's commonly called burning tongue, and I'm going to try and pronounce this. It's an idiopathic glossoporosis. It's the medical term, and I've had it for decades. And so recently, I found online that you should take turmeric, zinc, and one other one for it. And since I've been taking it for about a year and a half, it has reduced. But I'm wondering if there's anything else that I should be taking for that condition. Have you heard of that, burning tongue?
Well, it's actually under a broader designation, burning mouth syndrome.
Burning mouth. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And I saw that it was it could be neurological.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of things that could be involved here. I mean, lots of different things. I've followed several people with it. Sometimes it's been food sensitivity. Sometimes it's been a medication reaction, neuropathy, hormone changes, stress, nutritional deficiencies, some conditions like Sjogren's syndrome is an autoimmune condition where you get dry mouth. And then you can get a very irritated tongue because it's always dry.
No, I don't have that.
So it's probably worth it to get a someone who specializes in burning mouth syndrome or in something like functional medicine to be able to do a broader evaluation of things that may be triggering you, like doing food sensitivity testing or other things like that. Avoiding all artificial ingredients may be another.
Functional medicine analysis.
What's that?
My GP about functional. My GP. Okay, functional.
What about your GP?
I should talk to my GP about finding a functional medication or functional analyst or something.
No, you should actually go on the web and look for a functional medicine doctor. Like go to ifm.org. They have a physician finder. You can do it like 10 miles, 25 miles, 50 miles from your house and look for people in your area to see if you can find a functional medicine practitioner nearby.
IMS.org.
No, IFM, Institute for Functional Medicine.org.
Okay.
Because your primary care doctor is not going to know who to send you to.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Harvey, and my corrector of Colonel Captain Willard. And
all right. Have a great one.
And remember, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory.
Very good there, Kevin.
Okay.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
All right, and let's go to Lee in Ruskin. Good morning, Lee. What have you got for us today?
I'm a 80-year-old male. I ride my bicycle 7 miles in the morning and total gym at night. My weight's the same as it was 30 years ago, 180 pounds. I'm 6 foot. My question, let's get to that. I'm very active. I mow my own grass. I was on the roof the other day. I got no problem with that, but my arms just stay bruised all to dickens. And nothing I can do to prevent that. If I go outside and work and do a little bit of activity, I come in, my arms are all bruised up.
So are you a Floridian by birth? Are you a Floridian? How many years have you been here?
80 years.
Okay. And are you, do you use sunblock?
I do now. I didn't for years, but I do now.
Have you taken any vitamin C, or do you eat 5 to 8 servings of fruits and vegetables a day?
I eat an apple every day. I eat broccoli every day. I eat kale and an apple, kale and a honey and cinnamon and olive oil in a blender and drink that every morning. So
sounds like you're doing really well. Yeah. So one of the first things I think about in someone who lives in Florida and has lived here their whole lives about bruising on their arms is 2 things. One, sun damage kills something called elastin. Elastin is the springy type of collagen. It makes your skin stretch and come back to shape. If you don't have much elastin, which is killed by sun, you actually tear some of the small blood vessels and you bruise more easily. And the other big bruising thing is not enough vitamin C. So you may try increasing your vitamin C to 2,000 or 3,000 milligrams a day for a little bit and see if you get a change in that over a couple of weeks. If not, it's probably the sun damage, and there's not much we can do about that.
Okay, well, is that also a contributor to your age spots on your skin?
Yeah, age spots are related to that because the more sun you get, it changes the way you make the oils in your skin. So it's definitely related.
So take vitamin C and see what that does.
Take a couple thousand milligrams of vitamin C a day. That may actually change the way your body is making collagen, and you may see that there's less bleeding. Because low vitamin C is associated with bruising.
Is there vitamin C in any of those things I called off, kale or any of those?
Yes, there is some. So you are getting some. You may need more because of the damage to your tissues from so many years in the Florida sun.
Well, I lived on a boat for 21 years. And
there you go. Yes, you have serious solar damage, dude. And that may not be recoverable even with some vitamin C, but give it a try. There's another thing that helps with collagen, and that's called orthosilicic acid. It's under a brand name Regenemax or Biosil, Biosil. That makes more collagen too, so that may help.
I think I'll try the vitamin C first, see what that does.
Okay, good luck.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Lee, and best wishes to you there. Let's go to Jeannie in Clearwater. Good morning, Jeannie.
Good morning. I am a 64-year-old woman, 130 pounds, 5'2", very healthy, absolutely no problems. I don't take anything. I'm active. I take my dog on a sniff walk every day. And I don't take anything. I do have a crappy diet. And my question is, I'm getting ready to sign up for Medicare. I had just recently retired on very, very little Social Security to discover that they actually charge for Medicare, and I didn't realize that. So I'm perfectly healthy. I don't have any doctor right now. I don't have any problems right now, and I'm getting ready to sign up for Medicare. Any advice?
Well, considering you don't have a lot of things going on here and now, the cheapest way to do it is to do Medicare Disadvantage programs where you sell your Medicare to an insurance company for less outlay at the end. If you do regular Medicare and you get a good supplemental insurance, it's going to cost you, $300, $400, $500 a month because the supplemental insurance, you're buying insurance. But if you actually let the insurance company profit off of the federal system and make profit off of Medicare itself, then they don't charge you as much. And so you get more benefits for less money on Medicare programs that are owned by the insurance company, the disadvantaged ones, but then you have no access to Medicare. You're on private insurance. And so the things that Medicare does and covers, things like the NutriVal test that I do in my office, is covered by Medicare. No private insurer covers that. So you would not have access to that test. You'd have to pay cash $500 for that. But that's instead of paying $500 a month for insurance. So there's a trade-off, and you have to really look at all the options and ask people for the real costs of things. But if you're not sick and you don't spend a lot of money on doctors, maybe you don't need as much insurance.
Yeah, I probably don't need any kind of pharmacy coverage because I don't take anything.
Well, if you don't get pharmacy coverage, every year that you wait, you pay more for the pharmacy coverage. But you may not need it. And if you get it now, it's cheaper than then.
Okay.
So good luck with your decisions.
Yeah, any good source for that kind of information where I can get like a realistic comparison and not just a sales pitch?
No, I turned 64 actually last week, and I'm going to start that sojourn, but I have not begun looking for where to look.
Okay. All right, well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, bye.
So, hey, we're down to the last minute, so I'm going to answer a couple of emails. I have one from Jackie in Clearwater. She said, thanks for the show. Please list 3 to 5 actions we can take to reduce inflammation. And I do listen and donate whenever possible. So 3 to 5 actions. Well, I've talked about a lot of them. 1, walk every day. Exercise reduces inflammation. 2, take vitamin C. Vitamin C reduces your C-reactive protein. That is an inflammatory indicator. And 3, cut out the artificial sweeteners, flavors, and colors. Get rid of that stuff and get out of the packaged foods. Those things are going to improve your health vastly. Let's see. This man says he has a 63-year-old brother-in-law diagnosed with Alzheimer's. No, he's got Parkinson's with Lewy body dementia. It's not Alzheimer's. And so he's on a lot of different medications. And can these drug combinations make him worse? Possibly. But I think what he needs is really a good functional medicine doctor to evaluate all this stuff and help him get on a path that's about recovery rather than maintaining the illness while you deteriorate. Not a good place to be from my perspective. And so, thanks a lot for a great show, everybody. Excellent questions, great interaction. Thank you, Bill, for running the boards. And Joe, thank you for answering the phones. Missing Irene this week, but loving you, Joe. Have a great week, everybody, and see you in a week for some more Ask Me Anything.
And thank you very much there, Doctor, for another wonderful show. And as you said, the thanks goes on out to Joe for handling the phones and everybody out there who participated and even listened. Take care and stay healthy.
You have been listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. Coming on up next is 5 minutes of NPR News, followed by the Sustainable Living Show, hosted by the Acme duo of sustainability, Tanya Vidovic and Annie Ellis. Until next Monday at 10 a.m., thank you for supporting and listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, your community-conscious radio station. Stay safe, stay thoughtful, and know that you are loved.